could do the kind of stuff. So yes, so I thought it would be a great idea to have Deborah here this morning to talk to you guys about what she can do, and we'll welcome her. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I am Deborah, the social worker in healthcare, and I've been in healthcare for 5 years now. And I put together a slide just to give you a visual of what I do in healthcare, how many different things that I cover throughout the day in my job. The first thing that I take care of when you come into healthcare is I will be the person talking with you and getting the admissions packet done. It is quite extensive. There's a lot of paperwork in the admissions packet. All of these things are included in there. And I know that coming into healthcare at times it can be very overwhelming because the packet is pretty large. It requires 11 signatures in one area for initials. And then there's a whole other section that's just information only. Depending on the status of the patient when they come into healthcare, I work with them on signing it. If they aren't able to do it, I can email it to family members or the person that you have designated as the power of attorney, the medical power of attorney. I can email them and we can work through the process, but it needs to be signed when you arrive into healthcare. And this is different. It is in addition to all of the paperwork that nursing is going to have you sign upon arrival. When you sign that paperwork, those are consents to treat, so they need to get those things signed immediately. I will show up the next day, give or take, and talk with you about the admissions packet, and then we'll work towards getting it signed depending on what the situation, the resident's or the patient's situation is for being able to sign. The next big thing that I do in healthcare, it's called an MDS assessments. And these are assessments that are required that we take care of for our skilled services, which is Medicare and TRICARE residents that are there for therapy. And then I also do the MDS assessments for long-term residents. So everybody that is in healthcare has to have one of these assessments done. I'm responsible for all of those sections, B, C, D, E, Q, V, and Z. And there's a bunch of them. And so I ask questions and, documentation and talking to nurses and all of the things that are required to get the information that I need for that. And those assessments are done every day for different residents for different reasons. We do them upon admission, at the discharge. If a patient is sent to the hospital, it's a change in condition. We do it for hospice if they were admitted into hospice. So MDSs are a big part of my job responsibility, and I do them daily for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different residents on a daily basis. I had David, who is in charge of our MDSs. He told me yesterday that we do on an average of about 67 assessments a month. So it's constant, the amount of questions and assessments that I have to do with the residents. The next big job that I am responsible for is code status. Everybody in healthcare has a code status. You're either a full code, which means that all life-saving measures are done. We're going to do everything to save your life, send you to the hospital, CPR, all of it. Or you're a DNR, and that means in healthcare we let nature take its course. And in healthcare we require a DNR form, which is different than an advanced directive. It is not the same. And I know that most everybody here in an independent living has an advanced directive, and we have it on file and we know that it's in your chart, but if you choose to be a do not resuscitate, we actually have to get that form signed by the doctor, and we have to have it on file in healthcare. An advanced directive will not work. It's not enough.
What's SW?
Pardon me?
SW.
SW. Social work, yes. Yep. And just information only, each wing in healthcare has a notebook. And this is just in case of an emergency. The nurses have this notebook that they go and refer to so that they don't have to log onto the computer, get in the matrix, get in the chart and all of the things. There's a notebook on the crash cart that they go to for quick access. I'm responsible for updating that notebook when someone comes in, when someone leaves, if there's any changes. Care plans. This is also another big responsibility that I am in charge of. We have care plans every week. On Wednesdays is our normal care plan day. And we have care plans for admissions. We have care plans to update progress on therapy for discharges. Long-term residents have care plans every 3 months and a change in condition. If someone is admitted into hospice, that requires a care plan. And at any point, a resident, a patient, a family member can request a meeting from the team, the interdisciplinary team, and we will have a care plan at any time if it's necessary. And on a regular monthly basis, we have probably upwards of about 30 care plan meetings in any given month. So the team is constantly putting together a meeting. I'm in charge of the meeting when we finally have one, making sure that everybody says their part and that the family members have asked and we have addressed any concerns that they might have. And they usually take about 30 minutes per meeting. Some of them run a little bit longer depending on the circumstance of the patient or the resident. Grievances. I am also in charge of grievances. I am notified by the staff. It can be nursing, it could be in CNA, it could be anybody on the floor in healthcare that a resident or a patient has a concern or an issue, and I immediately go talk with the patient, with the person with the issue, and then start the investigation with that. I will talk to our team members to see if they know of anything. A lot of times overnight or over the weekend things happen and we're catching up on Monday to find out what exactly is going on. So the whole team is a part of the process. I interview the patient, the resident, the family member. I interview staff. Depending on what the concern is, it can take a little while making phone calls, notifying family members of whatever concerns. And with the patient's consent, sometimes I have to search the rooms if things are missing or if things are misplaced and things like that. I can go down into housekeeping with laundry and things, looking for missing items. And every grievance is handled differently. There's no one protocol for a missing item. Robert, our director, is ultimately the decision maker in what happens or how the resolution, how it's resolved. And I gather as much information as possible and give it to him, and he determines what happens with that grievance once everything is, all the questions are asked, and so that we can work with the family to satisfy whatever problem that they might have. In healthcare, we have, for long-term residents and some Medicare, depending upon if they need it or not, doctors that visit our facility quarterly. We have podiatry. We use at-home foot care for podiatry. They come about every 3 months or so, and we have the eye doctor. We are seen by Dr. Baker, and then dental. I help the nursing staff schedule dental appointments for the residents that need dental. And podiatry and the eye doctor come every quarter, give or take, every 3 to 4 months. And I also work with those doctors in providing them all of the orders that they need and all of the information they needed that they require for that visit when they come into our facility. And those visits usually take all day. So we have to find some place to put them, and I organize all of that as well. Work with the nursing staff to get all of the residents to where they need to be. So when they come, that's a full day affair as well. And hospice. When a patient or resident has a change in condition, we have a care plan with the family to make sure that everybody understands what hospice is, what hospice can do for them. I am the person that can offer hospice options. We have contracts in healthcare for specific hospice companies that we work with on a regular basis. If a family member or a resident chooses a hospice company that we don't have a contract with, because we have to have a contract in our healthcare facility for them to come and work in our facility with the patient, we can do a one-time contract. So if a family member wants a specific company, I will work with that company to get the paperwork that we need and to get the one-time contract that Robert will oversee and sign ultimately so that we can get that patient taken care of. I send all the referral information over to the hospice company for the patient that they're going to be examining. And then I am responsible for the palliative forms, the hospice paperwork that needs to be in our notebooks for when state comes to our building. We have standards, requirements that we need to fulfill, and I need to make sure from every hospice company that we have the paperwork that we're required to have on each resident. And then discharges. When someone is in our facility for Medicare services, for therapy, skilled services, when therapy lets us know that they are ready, another meeting will be held, the care plan meeting will be held. And again, all of the parties, all of the IDT team comes to that meeting so that we're all on the same sheet with the discharge. So the residents, the families, all of them ask the questions that need to be asked. The therapy will do a home assessment to make sure that the homes are safe. Any bars need to be put up or shower chairs, all of the things that need to be put together for that discharge. I will order equipment such as wheelchairs, walkers, the hospital beds, oxygen, all of the things needed for that. I fax in all of those referrals to the companies. I fax in referrals to home health companies. And then it gets a little bit more complicated if a resident is an independent living resident and they are going to assisted living, for an example. Then I have to work with assisted livings to get them to come in and assess the resident to make sure that they are meeting the requirements for assisted living, making sure all of those things are in place. If they're an IL resident going to assisted living or staying in healthcare, we have to work with resident services, housekeeping to move things. It's quite a big task to get all of the things together that need to happen for a move to happen, for a resident to follow the continuum of care. I also handle funerals on the facility, on the ARC community. I am the contact person for anyone that passes away in healthcare, a hospital, or assisted living. I am the person that makes the announcements on the portal, and I will email Felicia here in IL so that she can put the information on the memorial screen that's in the hallway. And I work with the families to communicate and coordinate all of the arrangements, making the reservations at the chapel, the friendship room, talking about the clergy, the music, working with IT for orders and things like that. And then I get them in touch with catering if they should want an event anywhere on the campus. And miscellaneous responsibilities that I am responsible for. When a resident passes away in healthcare, I work with the families to help them clean out the rooms in healthcare, and I will help the family empty out the room, and I will donate unwanted items that the family leaves behind. A lot of times that means taking things downstairs to the free table. I also donate the clothes to specific organizations. I try to give all of the men's clothes to veterans organizations, abuse shelters, and depending on the quality of the clothes, some of them I will take to Dress for Success. So on many occasions, you will come into my office and I'll have bags and bags of clothes just sitting around, and that's waiting for me to get a moment to take it to go donate it for someone. I am also in charge of the safe that is in healthcare. If a resident comes into the facility and we notice that they have jewelry or they have a purse, a wallet, anything of value, we will talk with you, and many of us will talk with you. I will, nursing will, Enrique will, Faye will. We really don't want anything expensive in your room. There's a lot of traffic in healthcare. We have a lot of staff that come in and out and, visiting people. So, and things happen. When showers are taken, things slip off and jewelry is misplaced. And so we really don't want to have expensive items in the patient's room. So, I will inventory the items for the safe. I take pictures of those items. Paperwork is signed. I email family members to let them know that I have whatever items I have. And when they can come and sign them out just so that they're safe until somebody can take care of those things for them. Let me see what else. I am also responsible for completing what we call a NOMNIC. It is a Notice of Medicare TRICARE Non-Coverage. When a patient comes into healthcare for skilled services, we have to fill out that form, a NOMNIC, to ensure that Medicare and TRICARE know that they have been notified that the services are stopping on any specific day. So that's part of the discharge process, and I take care of that as well. And also laundry. When a patient comes into healthcare, it's part of the packet that nursing fills out the moment they get here. But one of the choices on our laundry form is an individual choice, and it costs $25 per load. And if the resident patient chooses that option, I will go down to housekeeping and schedule that with them and then let the resident know what day their laundry day is and things like that. So I take care of that part of laundry as well. And there is a centenarian plaque in the hallway by the bistro. I am the person that does the nameplates for that as well. So just a lot of little details. If a resident or family member needs a letter of competence or incompetence for, legal purposes, banking purposes, and things like that, I will generate that letter and have Dr. Soria sign it for us. I am also available to Crestway and Lakeside for assistance if their manager should need any assistance for any reason, if family issues or concerns or anything like that. All they have to do is call and let me know. And I'm also a member of the Continuum of Care Committee, and I write the minutes for those meetings, and also I'm a member with HR on the CHAMPS Committee. So I keep myself pretty busy doing all of the things that are necessary in healthcare. Yes, ma'am. It's a full day, and most of the time when I get there in the morning, it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon before I have a moment to breathe. Does anybody have any questions? Am I cold? Yes. It is cold in here. Yes. Any questions?
What is that CHAMPS?
It's part of what HR puts together. They do a walk for the staff members. I think it's Cinco de Mayo, and it's just we help organize it, put the thing together for the staff members to walk on Lakeside. We have to show up like at 6:30 in the morning and put things together. Yes, it's very early. Did anyone have any other questions? Yes.
Is there ever an event that causes you to send a patient to an outside facility?
Yes, that does happen on occasion. We have received residents that come in, and I think more of it's a direct admit issue. It's an insurance problem. Sometimes, and it doesn't happen very often, but on occasion it has happened where a resident comes into the facility and then we realize after they get there that we are not in their network, or there's an insurance problem, something to that effect. So I have to find another facility for them to go to. And that has happened on occasion as well. But yes, on occasion, and sometimes we send out referrals to Pam, depending on a resident or a patient's condition, and sometimes they need a higher level of care, so we send them to Warm Springs or Pam, those kind of things. So it does come up where I have to find another facility for them to go to. Yes. Right over here.
Oh, sorry.
Do you have any time in your day, or is this a part of your responsibility to provide any kind of counseling to residents in healthcare, particularly people who are coming in for just skilled nursing, maybe hospital discharge or whatever? So is that also a part of your responsibility?
I can talk with them. Depending on what the issue is, I will definitely meet with the patient and find out what issues or what concerns they're having, and that I will talk with them for as long as they need. We also, in healthcare, we have what we call senior psych. So depending on what their issue is and the severity of what's happening, we'll make sure that they get a referral to senior psych, and they have a nurse practitioner that comes in on Tuesdays, and they take care of medications, for example, reviewing medications, or if a patient needs anxiety medications or depression medications, things like that. But there's also a counselor that is connected with senior psych that I can refer them to for more extensive counseling than I am able to provide. But I will initially meet with the resident or the patient and find out what's happening and what needs to be done.
I have one over here.
You provide transportation to the hospital. I have a pacemaker. I have to go. You fly transportation.
Are you talking about if you're in healthcare?
No, I'm still living by
Oh,
myself.
okay. I think that resident services, the Flo, if you call Flo, she schedules transportation. She would be able to help you with that. Anything else?
Over here.
Well, first of all, thank you for your presentation. Unfortunately, you didn't fill the room, even with the delicious snacks. Normally, that draws a crowd when you put out snacks. So I thank you for your presentation and
You're
for your
welcome.
information. I came here largely because of the availability of health care. I've got health issues. My wife's had health issues. It's not a matter of if you're going to have health issues. It's a matter of when. So when Steve Fuller talks about what's going on in the outside world and other agencies, eliminating their health care plans or eliminating assisted living or eliminating some of the venues that are available to us, you lose that continuum of services, which concerns me greatly. My primary reason for coming here was the continuum of services and the health care. So I applaud that all of this is done and all the things that you do. Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Over the past 5 years, I have had the experience of spending some time in Brenda's office before my wife died last year. Everything she talked about is absolutely true. She never turned me down one time whenever I wanted to have a conversation with her, or if my family and I wanted to have a consultation with the whole group. They were always there. They were very helpful. They were Johnny on the spot. The nurses and the people on the wards were outstanding in the coordination of what was going on. So I applaud you for your great work.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate that. And I will say, we will call a meeting. I will call a meeting anytime anyone comes to my office and has a concern or, schedule an appointment. And of course, the running joke in healthcare is rounding up my team. It is like herding cats. There are 5 or 6 of us that need to be at each meeting, and they are always going in separate directions. So it may take a minute to get everybody together, but I promise you they will come. And I rule this meeting. We've had some that come in and we're waiting for somebody else, and they're like, I need to go to the restroom real quick. I'm like, nope, you cannot leave. So, because as soon as you leave, you're going to get stuck somewhere else and we're going to be waiting again. But yes, we will get everybody together as needed.
And that is a true story. She will do that.
I get the text messages on our our thread, they get a little ruder as the time goes on. But yes, we will be there for you. Yes, sir.
So this applies to healthcare, not memory care, not assisted living. You made some references to support for assisted living.
Memory care, because it is in healthcare, is included in my umbrella that I cover. But I will go to Crestway and Lakeside as needed. And that has happened. We have some situations with family members or some issues that come up for whatever reason. And those managers will reach out to me, and I'll be a part of those meetings just to offer maybe a different opinion or different approach to whatever situation is happening. And I do I round at Lakeside on occasion, and I do round at Crestway as well. So I'm familiar with the residents that live there and their family members. So I can help if necessary. I will go when they call.
And she also has a great collaboration with resident services. So if there's ever an issue, Lori will include us, and especially if one spouse is in independent living and the other spouse is here in healthcare, we have to work as a team to kind of get things organized and completed.
Any other questions?
One thing I do want to add that she did mention for the staff that work in healthcare, she is, I don't know if you're responsible for it, if you just kind of took on that role.
I took it on.
But on any of our birthdays, any special anniversaries, she's the first one there with the flower, with a little token of appreciation. And so we really appreciate Deborah and everything that she does for us on our team. So thank you, Deborah. Appreciate
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yes.
What do you do in your spare time?
I have no spare time. I have no spare time. Every minute of my day when I get here in the morning is taken. And, I am available when I get home. Robert can call anytime, Faye can call anytime, text messages and things like that. Whatever comes up, I've come back on the weekend, of course, if something's needed. Just whatever that takes.
And on top of that, her son is currently serving right now. So we appreciate
He
him
is
as well.
deployed right now. He's in Poland. Yep. Yes. Well, thank y'all. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, guys.